Welcome to Code Catch Up. My name is Jamie Jones. This video I'm going to be talking about why I'm sticking with React. So why am I sticking with React? This is one of these things that's been kind of on my mind a little bit, and I thought I'd kind of get that out in some video just to explain it. Now, there's been a lot of issues, if you haven't heard, around licensing with React, and it's freaked a lot of people out, and Facebook's basically made some changes to kind of alleviate that risk. And if you want to find out exactly the small details, it's basically, you can go find articles. There's tons of them out there, as well as other videos explaining about the whole licensing issue and what's been happening and what's changed. But generally, Facebook's tried to make it better for everyone, and it's really to protect themselves, so other people don't try to sue them. So it's more of a protection. At least that's how they're putting it forward. So that's really up to your interpretation. So I recommend doing your own research there and finding out about everything that's been going on and what all the licensing means. But for me, I'm actually going to stick with React. A lot of people are jumping ship to other things like Preact and Vue, but for me, I'm sticking with React, and here's a few reasons why. And of course, this is going to differ between every single person. It really depends on their situation and what their interests are. And for me, I'm quite interested in React, or at least component architecture in itself. I think that definitely is the way forward, and it's really getting to this point where we're creating these really great components that are reusable through or across projects, and just doing really great things and making development a pleasure, really. So the reasons why. Now, first of all, React is very simple. Yes, the other libraries are very simple as well, but to actually learn React, it's quite small. It also has a really big plugin or add-on system as well. And basically anything that you need is generally there and available. So if you really want to rapidly prototype something, you can, and then later on replace that component with maybe your own custom version. There's so many options to do that there. As well as the community is huge. It's a massive community, and most of the people in the community are super helpful and great to work with or ask questions of. And then the other thing too is the amount of tutorials. So that is fantastic. The amount of tutorials going through all the different features of React, from the very basics, very beginner basics, all the way to the more advanced things, it's great. And there just seems to be articles coming out every day, hundreds of articles, it feels like. There's so much to read, but so that's some of those reasons. Really simple, small API, easy to learn. For me also, it's part of my day job, so it makes it a no-brainer for me to stick with it just because of that. But pushing that aside, also I have some client projects, so it's kind of pushing me to stay there a bit. Yes, I could convert some of those client projects to use something else, but for me it complements my learning and my upskilling with my day job. So there's some huge benefits there. So you really have to weigh up those things, are you using React in your day job? If you are, it's probably better to double down on React and really become super efficient and highly knowledgeable about it, because it's going to benefit you in your job and your progression of your career. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to stay with React for the rest of your career. For me, we take the past 5 years of my career, so just half, or just under half of my career. I've gone through so many different libraries and frameworks with JavaScript. So there's been jQuery, brilliant library, was kind of the main one for a long time. Bit of Prototype too, and not too long ago, maybe 6 years ago. But on top of that, then there was Angular, there was Backbone, a bit of Ember, now React, and I've also had to play around with a bit of Vue in some projects as well. So there's a lot of different libraries that have transitioned from. Mainly even with my day job, we went from Backbone in an application, switching out to Angular, then to React, even going to vanilla JavaScript. So that's even changed in that small amount of time in my latest job. So really flux, or area in flux, or it's constantly changing. And who knows, in a few years React might be something that we don't use, and we use something completely different. So I'm not too worried about sticking with React, because more than likely, if trends keep following how they are, we'll be on some other library in a few years. So I'm not really that fussed, and it's basically transferring knowledge from that point, because I think the component architecture is going to be what's going forward and what we're going to be using. It makes sense, and it kind of ties into the whole web components thing that was going to the spec, which I don't know where that's at. It doesn't really make sense anymore, I don't think. I think it's better to allow libraries to extend what's currently there and not be locked into a spec that won't be able to change very quickly. So that's kind of my thoughts on it and why I'm sticking with React. I'd love to know your thoughts. Are you sticking with React after all these licensing issues? Are you using something else? Have you switched, and what have you switched to? Like, have you switched to Preact, and how has that been? I'd really love to know. Leave a comment in the comment section below. If you're enjoying the video, please leave a like. And if you want to see more of these videos, make sure you subscribe as well. But other than that, we'll catch the next one. Bye.